Welcome back to another review. Today, we're diving into the brand new historical strategy game that has piqued the interest of strategy veterans and newcomers alike, Ara History Untold. And this is a game that promised to bring a fresh take to the 4X genre that has long been dominated by giants like Civilization and Humankind. But didn't manage to follow in their footsteps? Well, stick around as I'll let you know if it delivered or if it flew too close to the sun. Let's get into it. So you'll probably wonder, what is Ara History Untold? At its core, it's a turn-based 4X strategy game where you take control of a nation starting from the Neolithic era and guide it through the millennia of technological, cultural, and military progress. And yes, this premise sounds familiar, especially to the fans of the genre, but this game brings some interesting twists to the formula. As one thing you'll immediately notice is how the game handles the eras of history. Unlike Civilization, which tends to emphasize on the modern era and space exploration, instead, our focus is more on the grounded historical-based progression. You still engage in futuristic technologies, but instead of launching rockets into space, the final era dives into the transhumanism, cybernetics, and artificial intelligence, reflecting real-world possibilities that often get overlooked. In my opinion, this is a clever and refreshing step for the genre, grounding the game in potential realities rather than distant sci-fi fantasy. And visually, this game truly shines, especially when compared to its 4X peers. The world is procedurally generated, and the maps are absolutely gorgeous. And whether it's the cities, the farms, or the wild animals roaming around, every detail is animated with a surprising level of care. And the level here is also noticeable. Towns and buildings all feel appropriately sized compared to the map, which gives you a sense of vastness often missing from other games. And the zoomed-in animations of the bustling town squares, windmills turning in the breeze, and the herds of animals passing by adds a sense of life to the game. But that said, the game's not perfect. The automated road building system often produces confusing, jagged roads that don't quite mesh into the game's otherwise elegant design. It's a small visual hiccup, but one that occasionally takes you out of the immersive experience. And while the game handles the early and mid-game maps beautifully, performance issues do creep into the late game, especially on larger maps. And the game's occasional frame rate dips are not groundbreaking, but they are definitely noticeable. And one of the most important aspects of 4X games is the leaders. And Ara features a diverse roster of historical figures, from the well-known like Caesar and Shaka Zulu to more unconventional choices like Copernicus, and it's a nice touch and adds a little bit of flair and variety to the gameplay. But in terms of the actual gameplay impact, the leader choices feel somewhat underwhelming. These leaders offer passive bonuses, but these differences are minimal and don't significantly affect how you play. When it comes to this game mechanics, if you're someone who's played a 4X game before, then Ara History Untold will feel immediately familiar, as you're managing cities, gathering resources, developing technologies, and expanding your empire. But what sets this game apart is its good space economy, which is easily one of the game's most ambitious and complex features. Unlike the more abstract resources from Civilization or Humankind, Ara instead ties its economy to tangible goods that flow through your civilization. For example, you can grow wheat, which then needs to be processed into bread, which in turn can be served to inns for amenities. And this creates a multi-layered economy, where managing production chains becomes crucial to your city's survival and growth. However, as innovative as the system is, it comes with its share of issues, as managing multiple cities and keeping track of what goods are being produced or consumed quickly becomes overwhelming, and there are no reliable notification systems to alert you when a building has an empty slot, or where specialists, Ara's version of Civilization specialists, are idle. And this lack of streamlined information makes managing larger empires a chore, forcing you to dig through numerous menus just to stay on top of things. It's an area where the game's ambitions doesn't quite meet the necessary qualities of life features, and by the late game, it can feel like you're more of an acquaintance than a world leader. And when it comes to combat, it's straightforward, with some paper rock scissor mechanics and basic formations adding tactical depth. However, it's not the core focus, and the animations, while fun at first, become repetitive. The knockout mechanic, where civilizations are eliminated based on their prestige after certain ages, also adds a high stakes dynamic, but it comes at the cost of reducing diplomatic and cultural complexity as the map becomes increasingly empty. Diplomacy is limited to basic exchanges and agreements, making interactions with other nations feel transactional and shallow. Similarly, the government and religion systems are rather flat. Like the leaders, these choices boil down to numerical bonuses without unlocking new playstyles or significantly altering your strategy. So whether you're focused on democracy or autocracy, polytheism or monotheism, the experience is mostly the same. And for me, this lack of differentiation between the government types and the religious means there's less incentive to experiment with different approaches across multiple playthroughs. In my opinion, this is a game with a lot of potential, but unfortunately it's held back by the lack of polish in some key areas. The complex economy system is a fascinating addition, but it quickly becomes tedious without better UI tools to manage it. Leaders, diplomacy, and government systems lack the depth that could have set this game apart from its competitors. And while visually it's stunning, especially in the early and mid-game, it suffers performance issues in late game. And while the combat is functional, for me it doesn't offer much replay value. At the moment, this is one of the hardest games to score, but in my personal opinion, this game is a 6 out of 10. It's an okay game, but unfortunately it's not a game I could recommend, especially if you're a player who creates a more streamlined and action-packed experience. And if you're someone who's played Civilization or Humankind, I'm sure you'll like the game, but I'm confident you won't love it. If you've played the game, did you like it? Would you recommend it? Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.